Hi, I'm Bob Dunmore. I'm the producer of the documentary Bolivia Beyond Belief about the amazing democratic revolution of Bolivia. My hope is that it will inspire we as North Americans to actually establish a direct democracy in our country. But I want you to know that there are many, many things that are happening around us every day that we can do to establish our own self-reliance and interdependence with each other and independence from corporate power and abuse and taxation without representation. And I want to give you some examples. You'll be able to use the links that will appear below each of these different wonderful things that you can do to create a greater sense of self-reliance on how to build a solar greenhouse. A solar-reliant greenhouse which will produce food year-round. We will be talking about how to build your own solar collector with very low-cost materials from your lumber yard. I began in 1976 building solar collectors in the coldest place in continental United States, in the San Luis Valley of Colorado. And we were spending $200, $300 to make solar collectors that would blow air underneath our floors and turn our entire floor into a radiant heat source. And what we found out, which is very important, and you may hear me mentioning this again, radiant heat doesn't heat the air. It heats you. It keeps you very comfortable without needing to heat the air. Imagine, you don't need to worry about trying to keep the air warm to be comfortable if you create a radiant floor. So you can do this with just hundreds of dollars instead of thousands of dollars worth of propane to heat air, which, as you know, is hanging out up there, right? That's where the hot air is in your home, not where you are. So if you have a radiant floor, you can walk around barefoot all winter. But you can also use that same principle to grow food. You can grow food in freezing air inside a greenhouse as long as those plants can see a radiant wall. And you can heat that radiant wall, which might be zero cost, adobe, dirt, heated by the sun, which you know how much that costs? Zero. So you could actually have food production for very little cost. All you have to do is pay for the glass and some insulation on a building as long as the sun can create a radiant surface. We built a radiant greenhouse, and all it is a 10-foot adobe wall with plastic. The cost is around $200, $300 that will actually make plants thrive even if the air temperatures go below freezing. Right now, there are people making billions of dollars on keeping the earth dirty, keeping water dirty through fracking, for example, keeping the air dirty. What we are learning comes from your ancestors, and we are honoring them by incorporating these technologies into our daily lives on a very practical basis. It's going to be a great pleasure to share this with you, and I appreciate your accompanying us in this learning process as we enter into what's known as the Great Turning. And I'm very excited to be helping articulate it and find out how to put it into practical reality. Thank you for listening.